Frankie went on his own and began to do things for Roulette like The Only Way to Love, good records that never happened. It just couldn't happen. I don't know why they couldn't get Frankie off the ground. But the group went on and got a new lead singer, Billy Lambro, I think his name was, and they recorded the record Flip Flop. I'm quite sure they told you, and they appeared at the New York Paramount, and the record Flip Flop was appropriate because it really flopped. And the pictures were great and everything, and they looked great, but it just didn't happen. It didn't happen. It was killing them. It was 56 to 57, and that was it. It was over. It hurts, you know. It hurts an artist who's been popular to not have anything going, and you're still in that world, and you feel that you should still be there, and there's nothing to back it up, and it's horrible. We begin to look for substitute strength. Drugs was in the 50s everywhere, but everywhere, and it's potent, and it took, and cheap, all right? Drugs was backstage, you know. Drugs was off stage, on stage. It was just everywhere. And it took a lot of people away from their normal course of life. Frankie was one of them.
The drug situation made him a no-no. I don't care how good he was, that was a bad scene at the time. Although there were others doing it in the business who were in prominent positions. But it didn't affect them. But a kid like Frankie Lymon, forget it. His voice is changing. Nobody wanted to develop the change of the voice of the young kid to the young man to the grown man. Nobody wanted to go through that transition with him.
Educate me with a caress. Teach me nothing less than a lesson I'll never forget. Teacher, make me.
By the time he's 17, nobody wanted no part of him. He got blackballed from all the nightclubs, all the record companies, the booking agents. The man went broke completely. I picked him up on the streets of Broadway, and my challenge was to make the biggest comeback of his career.
He was about this tall, and now he's about this tall. When he was this tall, he had his first biggest show drop. Talking about the wonderful ball and love. Talking about the one, the only, the great Rockaway now, Frankie Lymon.
Hurt to see Frankie. He was at his lowest point. Frankie was no longer the Frankie Lymon I knew. He was always a brat and egotistical and everything, but he had the voice, and he could back it up. But then without the voice, he couldn't back it up. He was just another Joe.
I used to spend a lot of time at one of the booking agencies, Universal Attractions, and Frankie would come in and he would beg the bookers to try to get him a gig. He would even get on the phone himself to beg. I remember once he was calling a place in Union City, New Jersey, and literally begging for a job, begging for work, and asking the owner if he remembered who he was. That, you know, he was Frankie Lymon, and he had so many great hit records. It was a sad thing to see and deal with, particularly if you knew him and loved him like many of us did.
I was with a friend of mine from the Navy, and one of the neighborhood kids said, "Hey, Lou, I heard that your brother died." So I laughed to my friend. I said, "Man, that's about 4 times somebody told me that he had died." So since I was so close to my grandmother's, I said, "Well, let me go upstairs and say hello to my grandmother, and we'll have a joke about him dying again." And lo and behold, there was my father, policeman, and the person from the corridor. It was no joke. I didn't laugh that day.
You ever heard that song, Why Please Fall Low?
Yep.
You know where it was written?
Nope.
That hallway.
This hallway. See? This hallway right here. Where's the same building in this hallway? Words might still be on the wall. What's so cute? Who wrote it? Y'all wrote it. Who sang it?
Frankie.
It was back in 1955 when 5 youngsters walked through the corridors of this very school. And ladies and gentlemen, I am so proud to say that here today at Edward W. Stitt Junior High School, 25 years later, they are right here. And I want you to put your hands together and give them a real Stitt round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, Frankie Lyman's teenagers.